رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. And welcome, my dear sisters. Welcome to this winter well-being webinar today. The topic today is Thrive This Winter, Beat the Winter Blues, and Boost Your Joy, Energy, and Iman. Inshallah, I hope it's going to be a really beneficial webinar for you, inshallah. So in this webinar today, inshallah, we're going to be talking about why caring for yourself is an Islamic responsibility and how to get rid of any guilt about, self-care. Because I know many of us suffer if we do anything for ourselves, we feel guilty that, oh, we should be doing this for our parents or our kids or our spouses or our job. So yeah, we'll overcome that, inshallah. We'll be discussing some practical, quick strategies to strengthen your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health, even if you've got a demanding career and family. We'll be talking about how to prevent the winter blues and energy dip so that you can show up as your best self for yourself and your loved ones, inshallah. And hopefully, you'll leave with an actual action plan, a personalized winter well-being action plan to thrive in winter and beyond, inshallah. And inshallah, we'll be talking about much, much more, inshallah. So I hope you're really going to find it beneficial. Now, thank you so much for those of you who've joined live. As I say, welcome to whether you've joined live or watching the recording, welcome. But really engage with today's webinar. Inshallah, to get the most out of today, please write things down. I'm going to be prompting you to write things down and engage with the exercises and participate in the discussions, inshallah. I know it's late for if you're tuning in live, so let's keep the energy in the room going, inshallah. My slides are detailed on purpose. Feel free to take screenshots of the slides instead of having to scribble down notes. But if you are somebody who doesn't like wordy slides, then just ignore it and just listen to my voice instead, inshallah. And really, my dear sisters, if you're a Muslim woman who wants to excel in all areas of your life, in all your roles for the sake of Allah, and you want to use your time on earth to get as many goodies as possible, but without burning out and without neglecting your well-being and without being chronically stressed, inshallah, you are in the right place. Welcome to this webinar. Welcome to my community, and really thank you for being here. And I just want to again just say that this session is for action takers. So make the intention that you are going to implement what you're learning here. It's not just nice information, but hopefully something that you'll be motivated to implement, inshallah. All right. So I want to start by just sharing this key idea with you guys that the topic of today is all about well-being. And I want to say that your well-being has much more to do with your mindset and the actions you take for yourself and your habits, which are things within your control, than things out of your control, such as the season, with it being winter, or other people. We might think, oh, because I've got a busy job, I don't have time for my well-being. Because I've got a busy family. But no, you have to, no matter what season, no matter what your circumstances, it's down to you to take responsibility for your well-being, and you just have to adapt your action steps accordingly. But it's totally adaptable. So well done, and thank you for being here, being the kind of person who does take responsibility, inshallah, for their well-being. Okay, so just a little bit about myself in case you've not come to one of my sessions before. My name's Dr. Hafsa Qureshi. I'm a GP, which is a general practitioner, family doctor in Lincoln, United Kingdom. I'm also a mum to four kids. They're currently aged 10, 7, 3, and 1, so busy household. I'm a wife, a daughter, a sister. My family is very important to me. I'm also a co-founder of the British Islamic Medical Association. I'm a volunteer in my local mosque. And also, I've been into personal development for a while, and that journey has culminated in me becoming a professional certified life coach as well. And my passion is really supporting overwhelmed professional Muslim women to overcome their struggles and create healthy, happy, fulfilling, Jannah-focused lives, inshallah. And I'm also the founder of a program called the Khadijah Life Upgrade Programme, which helps professional Muslim women align and optimize their emotional, mental, physical well-being, and also their external reality, their relationships, their Salah and Quran, their housework, their time management, their career, finances, voluntary work. And the idea behind the program is building those mindsets and habits that align with both modern personal development ideas and scientific research and the Quran and Sunnah. So bringing together those different elements so we can truly live a life of alignment, and bringing together all those different areas that we want to, inshallah, succeed in personally, professionally, and Islamically, inshallah. But I want to share that a few years ago, where my journey started is that I was very overwhelmed with life, especially after my second child, and I found it really difficult to juggle all my roles and to-do lists, my well-being in relationships, especially suffered as a result. I was getting a lot of migraines, my skin suffered, I was gaining weight, so my well-being really suffered. I also found myself nagging a lot, blaming others for how I was feeling. Um, and I really felt low and anxious, guilty. I had chronic stress and I had really low self-esteem as well. And in addition to that, I had low spirituality as well. Despite doing courses, despite volunteering, despite trying to do lots of stuff, attend Islamic courses, etc. Something was missing. My connection with Allah just, wasn't there in the way I knew it should be. And I knew I just couldn't go on like this. I really was like, how do I get out of this hole? I considered, I got, counseling through the NHS. I even tried medication. And I was like, no, there has to be another way. This isn't working. And I found my answer in personal development studies, in the personal development world. I got coaching. And that journey led to me then becoming a coach myself because I learned so many mindsets, so many frameworks, so many principles and strategies that really gave me that more clarity, gave me that more peace, inshallah, with myself. It enhanced my well-being. My life didn't get any I guess like I had my responsibilities and roles kept it, adding. They weren't going, it's not like I had less stuff on my plate, but my well-being improved just by tweaking my own mindsets and habits. And as a result, alhamdulillah, my enjoyment of life and my connection to Allah as well improved massively. And I'm sharing my story just to share that, if it was possible for me, it's possible for you, inshallah. And that's exactly why I became a coach, to share this with others. And I share that through my one-on-one coaching and through my Khadijah Life Upgrade Program, because I really want to help others succeed and improve their well-being and success, inshallah. And alhamdulillah, my programs have gotten great feedback, and now I'm just really passionate and about sharing this stuff, supporting others, united like-minded people. That's why I'm doing these, free sessions. And I really want to just create this worldwide network of Muslim women supporting each other in their well-being, inshallah, and supporting each other to, succeed in their external goals as well, because that's how we create an upgraded ummah. Like Allah says in the Quran that He will not change the condition of a people until we change what's in ourselves. So this is where it all starts, working on our well-being, improving ourselves, and then going outwards from there, our families, our communities, our ummah, inshallah. And alhamdulillah, I just as well want to share some more stories, because again, I want to share that these ideas that I'm sharing with you today, like I share in my program, you'll get like I'll be sharing them directly with you today, inshallah. But if it's help other people, it can hopefully help you. But the key is, and I'm sharing this to motivate you to, implement your learning, inshallah. For example, Nida shared that she was suffering from burnout, difficulty regulating her emotions, but Kale, you really helped her and realize that it is possible to have it all. It is possible to work on different areas of your life together and succeed, while striving for the akhirah without burning out, inshallah. Sister Layla shares how, again, it starts with working on your own emotional well-being, and she's more worked on that, and she's now in a more mindful state. And she's much happier. The issues of the past no longer bother her. And alhamdulillah, the tools and resources I've shared with her have changed her life for the better, alhamdulillah. And it's also saved her from binge eating and not falling into depression due to the loss of a loved one. Just some mindsets that that she's learned, alhamdulillah. And also, Sister Sabrina shares that, again, the ideas I've shared have had a profound effect on her mental health. And the ideas have helped to overcome overthinking and manage what I call thought storms, so that her mental health is better as a result. And she's gone on to, mashallah, do many amazing things. So if it's possible for them, if it's possible for me, inshallah, it's possible for you. But the key is you have to be an action taker, inshallah. So I've shared a little bit about myself, what I do, why I do it, but I want to ask you now, sisters, why are you here today? What do you want to get out of this workshop today? And I just want to give you a moment to renew your intentions, because the Prophet ﷺ said that actions are judged by intentions and everyone will get what he intended. So it's really important just to think, what would you love to get out of today? Why are you here today? So I'd love to hear in the chat why you've joined today, inshallah. Just write in the chat for me. Please do interact. Yeah. What would you love to get out of today's webinar? Become a better version of myself, stop feeling overwhelmed and get productive. Yeah. Beat the winter blues. Yeah. Yeah. Self-care. Fantastic. Better time management. Want to gain some tips on winter well-being, better version of myself. Great, inshallah. May Allah reward your intentions, inshallah. Strategies to improve well-being. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about all of that, inshallah. Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, what is well-being and why is it important? Because sometimes it can be, just a bit of a fluffy concept. So I want to ask you guys, I want to hear your thoughts, first of all. What is well-being and why is it important? Please do share with me in the chat your thoughts. What is well-being actually? How would you define it? And why is it important? Healthy eating, self-respect, interesting, feeling mentally and physically well. It's a state of mind, good health, being mentally and life balanced. Feeling human, interesting. Looking after yourself, giving yourself quality time. Yeah. Looking after yourself physically and mentally, being content. Yeah, love that. Excellent. Okay, excellent, guys. Thank you for engaging. So yeah, like I said, some people can think it's just like a fluffy concept, and some people also think it's just an afterthought, like only if there's enough time left after everything else. But I'm here to show you that as a busy professional Muslim woman, it's essential you look after it, and it's totally doable, inshallah. And it will create more barakah in your time if prioritize, inshallah, your well-being. Um, how I define well-being very simply is being well. And I think of it in terms of four domains. So physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But of course, all four of these areas, they overlap. And another way I like to think of it is a state of being healthy, happy, fulfilled, and connected to Allah, or being Jannah focused, like just being in that state of being connected, blissful, and happy, yeah, contented, fulfilled, and healthy, inshallah. And this is really important, sisters. In order to do this, like, it's important to realize that you have to show yourself self-compassion and care. You have to be kind to yourself and prioritize your well-being. And I would say because Allah is most merciful, you need to show mercy to yourself. And even the Prophet ﷺ said that verily Allah is merciful only to his servants who are merciful. So we should be Allah's, quality after the name Allah, the two qualities Allah, the next two names of Allah, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, being most merciful and most kind. So we as his servants want to embody that quality of being kind and, merciful to others. But we have to be that to ourselves first and foremost, because we can't pour from an empty vessel. Like if we want to give to others, we have to fill ourselves up, because you can't pour from an empty vessel. And a beautiful analogy from Stephen Covey's book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, is this idea of sharpening the saw. So I'll just share this little story with you that basically there's two woodcutters, right? And they both have this task of chopping down this tree. So, and they both have blunt saws. So one woodcutter is like, oh my gosh, I have to cut down this tree. I've got a time limit, so I have to like chop down this tree, and I just have to go, and I don't have time to like sharpen the saw. I just need to like cut it down because I have limited time. And the other woodcutter spends an hour just sharpening the saw, and then he's able to just cut the tree down like a lot faster. So guys, guess who actually cuts down the tree faster in that story? The one who doesn't sharpen the saw and is like, oh, I don't have enough time to sharpen the saw, or the one who spends that bit of time sharpening his saw first? Which one cuts the tree down faster and more smoother? Let's answer in the chat. Which woodcutter? The one who sharpens, exactly. So you actually we have to sharpen ourselves, as it were. We gain time by doing that. And one of the key principles I teach in my program is that rejuvenation and looking after your well-being is as important as productivity. And that rejuvenation may take two forms, alone and with others, things you do by yourself and things you do with others. But it's as important as being productive, and they're both forms of ibadah. And we need to have those clear times for productivity, clear times for rejuvenation, inshallah. Also, again, this is from the Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ said that do not make yourself hate the worship of Allah, because the traveler who does not let his mount rest will not reach his destination, and his mount will not be able to keep going. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying here that you need to take care of yourself. You need to rest. You need to look after yourself, because otherwise you can't keep going. So don't make yourself hate the worship of Allah. In other words, don't like be so like just doing that you then are just burnt out. You have to look after yourself too. Okay. So, um, so let's just talk about these different areas of well-being, okay? And I like to see that they're in these different domains, and each domain has an element of that internal well-being, and then has the corresponding external well-being. And it's about you want to master the internal well-being so you can have the external success, and they correlate. So you've got the physical domain, so you've got your body, your physical health, your energy levels, and then that correlates to your shape, your physical body, your also your environment, how you're conducting for example, your domestic chores, just your physical internal state. It correlates to your physical external state as well. And then you've got the emotional social domain. So if you've mastered in your well-being, your emotional regulation, for example, your relationships and your parenting will thrive. So those two are correlated as well. Then you've got the mental intellectual domain. So that's about your mental well-being, your beliefs, your thoughts, your mindsets. And that then correlates to your career, your legacy, your contribution that you're making, and your finances, how much money you make, right? Because it correlates to the ideas and the thoughts you're carrying in yourself. And then you've got the spiritual domain. So the internal well-being side of this is your spirituality, your consciousness and connection to Allah. And then the external game here is the quality of your outer ibadah, like how good is your salah, how much is your consistency with the Quran, for example. Now, most people think, this is the thing, most people think if the external part is good, right, then they will have the internal well-being, okay? They think if they work on the outer game, then the inner game will fall into place. That's the false belief that people have, okay? But really, I want to share with you that it really is the other way around. Focus your efforts on upgrading your inner game, and then, inshallah, most of the outer game falls into place. Like I've learned this from my own experience, from the experience of the sisters I've coached. I can't emphasize this enough. Like in a game, this side, what we're talking about today is 80% of the work, okay? Master this, which is basically in your control, and the external stuff then falls into place. Why? Just to give a brief reason, for example, for this is that if you're not emotionally regulated, if you're feeling down and depressed, I can give you all the strategies in the world to how to build a business, how to parent your kids, how to do this, how to eat healthy, but you're not going to implement any of it unless you're emotionally regulated, unless you're feeling good in yourself, right? You can have the best ideas on a business you want to create, but if you've got self-limiting beliefs and you've got imposter syndrome, you're not going to implement it. So it's really important to get on top of the inner game first. And they're all linked and they all impact each other, which is exactly why the Khadijah Life Upgrade Programme actually supports people in all of these areas, not just one, because it's really important to have an aligned system. So, with that being said, let's make that intention to upgrade our inner game this winter. Just by the way, write a yes in the chat of this. I explained that, and you understand this, that you have to work on the inner well-being in order to get the external success. And if that's making sense to you, yeah, and how most people see it the other way, but actually it's this way first, yeah. Good, inshallah. Great. Okay, so let's just break it down now into these different domains and how we're going to upgrade our well-being, inshallah. So let's firstly talk about your body physical health and energy levels, inshallah. So, first of all, I'm going to ask you the question of why. Why do we want to upgrade our body and our physical health, inshallah, physical well-being? And the reason I'm going to be asking you why in this presentation is because you've got to be connected to the why so that you prioritize it. Because honestly, sisters, it's never about not enough time, not enough money. It's always about your priorities. And in order to prioritize your well-being, you have to be connected to why. Like, why really is it so important that you prioritize this? So give me some thoughts in the chat, my dear sisters. Why is it important that you look after now your body and your physical well-being and your health? Please give me some thoughts in the chat. Engage with me. Let's make this interactive. Body is an amana from Allah. Excellent. Fantastic. It's the vehicle that will carry you to your life goals. Yeah, absolutely. To be able to be the best version of yourself. Makes you feel well and boosts yourself. Excellent. Yeah. If you're physically fit, then you'll be mentally, emotionally, spiritually fit. Yeah, absolutely. If you stop feeling burned out, able to continue your role to the best of your ability. Absolutely. Great, great, guys. Great ideas here. So, absolutely. First of all, the body is an amana, so you have to give it its right. You've got to give it the right fuel and servicing for a right good performance. Imagine if you had a car. If you give it, you could have the best car in the world. If you give it the wrong fuel, if you don't service it, it won't perform at its best. And similarly, think of your body as this beautiful car Allah has given you, but you only have one. Like, you only have one, so you have to like really look after it. Imagine if your loved one gave you like an amazing car. Like, how well would you like look after it? And you knew that you only had this one car to last you your whole life. Like, would you or wouldn't you look after it? And wouldn't you give it the right fuel? And and take care of it. So similarly, don't take your body for granted. Like, it's an amana. And the Prophet ﷺ said, your body has a right over you. And we are actually going to be held accountable on the day of judgment for how we treated our bodies. Also, increased energy leads to greater productivity and improved mental well-being too. Absolutely, it really does. Like, if you've had a bad night's sleep, just put a yes in the chat if you can relate to this, or you've not eaten well, you can't perform at your best. You end up having not a very productive day. So say yes if you can relate to that. Yeah. So it's absolutely really important. And also you get that more energy for your ibadah and good deeds. And also the Prophet ﷺ said that a strong believer is better and is more beloved to Allah than the weak believer. So another reason to really upgrade our physical health, inshaAllah. Because ultimately we want to be doing everything for the sake of Allah, inshaAllah. So let's talk about now. So we've got our why in place. So how do we go about it? Let's talk about some tips. And again, in each area, I'm going to try and give you as much as I can in this sort of hour session. There's so much I could talk about all of these areas. But I will, yeah, as I say, try and give you as much as I can, inshallah. So the most important thing is having that healthy diet and aiming for a healthy BMI, my dear sisters. So, eat lots of green leafy veg. So things like, spinach and kale. Have avocado, broccoli. That green veg is vital. Oily fish, lean proteins, things like blueberries, eggs, walnuts, turmeric, honey. These are considered superfoods. I've listed those specifically. And it's about having less sugar, less refined carbohydrates like, the pasta, the rice, the bread, and less processed foods, especially those ultra processed foods, basically anything you buy in a factory. Realize that that is just edible entertainment. It's not real food. And, you want to reduce that and aim for that healthy diet, inshallah. Another big thing that can really help improve your body is fasting. Subhanallah, so many health benefits of fasting. Again, I could talk about that. I could write, give you a whole presentation on the health benefits of fasting, but really you'll have to take my word for it that so many health benefits of fasting. It's a complete reset and detox for the body. And especially in winter when the days are short, please do consider doing the sunnah fast of fasting Mondays and Thursdays, inshallah. Not only is it good for your spiritual well-being, but your physical well-being too. You need to drink plenty of water, which is needed for both your brain and body. Imagine I like to drink a big glass of water in the morning, and I literally imagine like if you put water in the dried up flowers, if you give some water, they plump up, right? So similarly, imagine your brain when you drink water, it literally plumps up your brain. It gets your body going. Like you need to have more water, inshallah. Again, easily thing that we neglect. Also, you need to have daily movement and weekly strength training specifically. Strength training is not just something for bodybuilders, it's something especially for us as women. We need to be doing at least weekly strength training. And I know you're busy as a Muslim woman. Again, this is in my program, Khadijah Life Upgrade Program. I teach how to do these things as quickly, as efficiently as possible. I give the whole workout routine. And how many times a week? So I would say, so this is an interesting question. Like done is better than perfect. Minimum, I would say once a week. If you can do it 3 times a week, that's great. But at least once a week working on your strength training, inshallah. Occasional hot baths as well, very good for the body, especially in winter. It relaxes your muscles. There's theories about, it resetting the ions in your body, but very good and relaxing for your system, inshallah. Make sure you're getting 8 hours of sleep at night as well, inshallah. Really important. Again, in the Killy program, I go on about sleep for 2 hours in terms of I give so much content to, there's so much science on, we don't really realize how important sleep is. But really, my dear sisters, prioritize your sleep. So imagine sleep is like a washing machine for your brain. Like it really like again it resets your brain and it's rejuvenating for your whole body. Your immune system is resetting. All your body systems are resetting when you sleep. So really don't neglect that. Um, a morning walk in sun, again, very important, especially in winter. It was really good idea to take on board, get some vitamin D in your system. That's, limited sunlight. And again, it can really reset you, especially in these winter days. Also with it being winter and this theme being, this is my theme is winter well-being specifically. A vitamin D and multivitamin supplement is a really good idea because we get less sun in winter, and vitamin D is good for healthy bones, teeth, and muscles, inshallah. Another thing you can do for your body is deep breathing when you're stressed to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. So when we're stressed, it triggers our sympathetic nervous system, and that triggers that fight or flight in our body. That triggers a stress response in our body. So something very simple we can do to reverse that is deep breathing. In for 3 and out for 6, inshallah. You'll instantly feel your body relax. And if you put your attention into your breathing, you'll feel your mind relax as well. So anytime you're stressed, just doing some deep breathing is really good because we want to reduce that chronic stress in our body. Chronic stress leads to inflammation in our body. Inflammation leads to all sorts of health problems, cancers, heart disease, metabolic diseases, muscular and skeletal problems. So really, inshallah, reduce that deep breathing. How long deep breathing? I would say, a minute at a time. A good practice is just do some. I actually like to say this: do your deep breathing in your salah, like so every time. This is just a quick tip, like because again, another principle that I teach in coaching is attach your new habits to something you're already doing. So we're already hopefully, inshallah, praying salah. Just do some deep breathing. Like take a deep breath in every different posture of your salah, and that will help you slow down in your salah too. Or as well, whenever you're stressed, just do some just take a 3 deep breaths, and it can be really relaxing, inshallah. So those and yeah, really work on reducing your stress, and also when you work on your emotional, mental, and spiritual health, as we're going to talk about in a minute, that impacts your body because all the systems are linked. As a GP, we see so many people with things like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, and all of these are body things, but they definitely have a psychological component because our systems are all linked. So it really you need to reduce your stress and work on those areas as well, and that will impact your body. So I've discussed a few ideas here, but what I want you to do now is write down at least 2 things you're going to implement this winter for your physical well-being. Because as I say, these are ideas, but what I want you to do is actually write it down and maybe write it in the chat. And I hope you'll write it down in your little journal, because when you write it down, when you engage, you're more that process of writing it down will make you much more likely to do it. And the whole point of today is that you take away something and you actually implement it, inshallah. So at least write down two things that you're not already doing. If you're already doing this stuff, great. But now we want to upgrade. We want to build on your habits. We want to build on your improve your well-being. So two things that you're not doing at the moment that you, inshallah, are going to make an intention to start doing, inshallah, this winter. So taking supplements, improving the greens intake, love that. Hot baths and deep breathing, fasting and deep breathing. Mashallah, may Allah reward your intentions. Deep breathing, eating greens, love it. Excellent, excellent. Great, guys. So just a minute to do that. 8 hours sleep, more water, great. Supplement and 8 hours of sleep. Brilliant. Excellent, guys. Great. May Allah make us all steadfast in our intentions, inshallah. Great. So let's move on to emotional well-being then. So why is this component important? Why is it important that we look after our emotional well-being? Again, just give me some thoughts in the chat, my dear sisters. Why is it important that we look after our emotional well-being? Give me some thoughts. Regulation. Why is it important? What impact does being emotionally dysregulated have on us? We feel more stable moving through our day. Yeah. Improve our relationships. Yeah. Affects everything in your life. Exactly. Calm and live in the present. Yeah. Absolutely, guys. Yeah. Better in a family, knowing the mother is stable, function properly in life. Yeah, absolutely. For our family, we definitely need to do that. Yeah. It affects others. Yeah. So, why, my dear sisters, when you're emotionally well, we can be in that default state, inshallah, of peace and gratitude. Like that's what we want to be. That's my aim for the people I work with, that they're in the default state of their default state is peace and gratitude. Okay. Now obviously we all have moments when we get stressed, when we get sad, but the default, the overwhelming state should be peace and gratitude, inshallah, and joy, hopefully. When you're emotionally regulated, you see things as they really are. Otherwise, when you're emotionally dysregulated, you're more likely to snap at others, you're less able to concentrate and focus and make decisions. Your rational brain literally like switches off. There's a disconnect between your rational brain, your frontal cortex, and your, decision making centers. It also, when you're emotionally dysregulated, when you're feeling down, low, anxious, it sucks up your time and has an impact on your physical energy. Like, who can relate to that? Just put a yes in the chat. It literally takes up so much time if you're not in an emotionally good state. Okay, just put a yes if you can relate to that. Um, and we're less productive. We're less able to give to others if we're not emotionally well. And also, yeah, it impacts our actions or lack of actions. In other words, if we're not emotionally like in a good place, we won't take action. So it's really, really important to get on top of this area, inshallah. So again, here are some tips on how to upgrade your emotional well-being. Again, on I have a whole module on in my Kelia program on this topic, which is a very deep module. But again, I just want to give you some ideas really to take away and sharing as much as I can in this limited time. So really, first of all, don't fear or repress your negative emotions, okay? Process them. This is really important. Like if it's a strong emotion, allow yourself to feel it and sometimes stay with it for a bit. Okay, so you're feeling sad, you're feeling anxious, rather than putting it on the carpet, like just stay with it, process it. Why am I feeling this way? Allow yourself to feel it for a moment. Something I would teach in the Killer program called the peace process. Like in brief, like you stay with the emotion and you get out of your head into the body, cradle that emotion. Feel it in your body. Where is it in your body? That anxiety, that stress, that sadness. Stay with it, cradle it, feel it, and then send it, even that emotion, some love. That might sound strange, but whatever that means to you, stay with it and come out of your head into the body and feel it, and then you will find that it dissipates. It slowly, as you stay with it, it goes away. So it's about processing those emotions, inshallah. Other tips is avoid overthinking and arguing with others when you're dysregulated, because guess what? It's going to make you more dysregulated. It can lead to bigger arguments. You're going to say something that you regret, or say some yeah, or make things worse if you're in that worse emotional state. So to really, when you're emotion to upgrade your emotional well-being, realize that when you're not emotionally well, like, don't argue with others and avoid thinking too much and overthinking things, because your brain will otherwise go off on a what I call a thought storm and just go you spiral very quickly. Also, avoid making big decisions and acting out when you're dysregulated. Avoid making big decisions, just sleep on it, and then when you're emotionally feeling a bit more regulated, then come back to that decision. Another thing to bear in mind to upgrade your emotional well-being is know that your emotions, they will pass. It will pass whether you do, like, Allah, mashallah, like, Allah has, just as our body like heals without, like, if we get a cut, our body heals, right, without us actually doing anything. So it's actually the same with our emotions. Like, even if we don't do anything, like we're feeling sad, we're feeling a bit anxious, as long as you don't rub salt on the wound, it will actually pass. Sometimes it just helps to distract yourself to avoid that overthinking. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he recommended doing wudu or changing your posture when you're angry, because he knew that when you change what you're doing and just kind of change your environment, that emotion will pass and you will calm down. Also, know how emotions work. Know that it's always caused by what's going on in your mind at that moment. Your emotional state in any given moment is coming from what's going on in your mind in that moment. So actually, how are emotions mediated? Emotions are actually we've got chemical messengers going on in our body between our conscious and subconscious mind. Okay, when we have a thought, we it releases chemicals, like, and then we feel something in our body, and that is what we label as an emotion. So when we're feeling anxiety, we've had a thought, and that's triggered, like, chemicals in our system. It's triggered the adrenaline, it's triggered the cortisol. We feel something, and then we feel that in our body, and we say, oh, I'm anxious. So, and our conscious mind may not realize we're anxious or why we're anxious, but our subconscious mind, it's like, those emotions are like that messenger between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, if that makes sense. And the thing to realize, that what you therefore need to do is you need to figure out the thought behind the feeling and then challenge and process that. So sometimes those thoughts that are triggering these emotions are subconscious. You need to go inwards rather than outwards and blaming your spouse, blaming your kids, blaming your work. You need to go inwards. Like, what's the thought I'm having here that is making me feel this way? And the thing to realize, that sometimes that thought is true, such as, like, I miss my relative. Who You might be feeling sad because you're thinking of your relative who's passed away, and you might want to just stay with that sadness for a few moments. But sometimes that thought is utter rubbish and has no evidence. For example, a thought that used to plague me a lot was, like, I'm not a good enough mum. That used to really plague me, and it used to create a lot of anxiety in me. But then when I started working on these frameworks, I realized that, okay, well, I was challenged on that thought. Like, what's the evidence for that? Is it really true? You got to question yourself. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. Some people might have the thought that nobody loves me, and that creates an emotion in their body. So you've got to challenge these. You've got to challenge the rubbish thoughts, and clear your mind of that thought, and then connect your thoughts back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as possible, inshallah. Another technique, to, again, to emotionally regulate, to boost our emotional well-being, is connecting with an empathetic loved one who's a good listener, maybe talking about how you're feeling, and also hugs. Hugs, they trigger oxytocin, and they're a good way to, again, like, rebalance our emotional state, inshallah. And another one is the deep breathing, like I mentioned before. This is also good for emotional well-being. It helps clear the mind if you put your focus in the breathing, and it helps regulate those physical feelings associated with that heightened emotion, inshallah. So again, here's a few thoughts for you on how you can upgrade your emotional well-being. And I want you to, again, do the same thing. Write down at least two things you're going to implement for your emotional well-being. So write it down. What are two things you can take away from this list and, inshallah, implement? Just, again, write it down, my dear sisters. Write it down in the chat as well, so I can read and we can inspire each other. But do the exercise and you take away more from the session. What are you going to do? Make that intention, at least two things that you're not already doing to improve your emotional well-being, inshallah. Process my emotions, change the environment. More hugs and no big decisions when emotionally dysregulated. Absolutely. What else? Excellent, excellent. Keep it coming. Challenge my negative thoughts. Yeah. Focus my mind. Avoid overthinking. Focus my mind on real things around myself. Exactly, exactly. Excellent. Great, guys. Great, guys. Excellent. All right. Moving on then to the next domain. So your thoughts, your thoughts and mental well-being and mindsets. Again, why do we want to work on our mental well-being? So again, as I now know that mental and emotional well-being are strongly connected, but there's almost like two sides of the same coin. So why do we want to upgrade our mental well-being? What's going on in our head? Why do we want to do this? To remain stable, yeah. Why else? Practice mindfulness. Gives mental clarity. Yeah, excellent. Why do we want to do this? To avoid arguments. Because it controls everything else. Yeah, absolutely. Improve quality of actions. Excellent, guys. Excellent. Thank you so much for engaging. Excellent. To stay calm. Excellent. So why we want to look after our mental well-being is our mind is literally one of our most precious assets. It literally our faculty of thought, our faculty of being able to be conscious of our thoughts is what distinguishes us from other animals. Okay, that is what makes us Allah's Khalifa on earth. Okay, and it's easier to take the right action if we have the right mindset and the right mental models. So this is why it's so important to really pay attention to what's going on here in our mind. Also, as I mentioned before, our emotional state is actually coming in any given moment. Our emotional state is coming from what's going on in our mind in that very moment, not from our outside circumstances. So getting control of what's going up on here, our mental well-being is also the key to our emotional well-being because it's directly coming from our thoughts. Our emotions are directly linked to our thoughts, caused by our thoughts. Not they are not caused by other people. People, circumstances don't have the power to cause your emotions. Only your own thoughts is a key principle I teach. It might be like, when you really get it, it changes your life forever. The other thing to realize is that you can only really think about one or two things at a time, right? So if your mind is full of insecure thinking or angry thinking, you're annoyed with others, you're resentful, you're insecure, you're having imposter syndrome. Well, if your mind is full of these kinds of thoughts, then guess what? You have no space in your mind for creative thoughts, for grateful thinking, okay? For coming up with ideas and exploring them. And then that directly causes, if you have more creative and grateful thinking, that leads to more productivity and more connection with Allah. But again, if your mind is full of insecure, angry thinking, there's no space for that, literally. So you really need to be self-aware of the dialogue and images going on in your mind and what you choose to focus on with your mind. Because yes, to a degree, you can't control always what thoughts enter your head, but you can then become conscious of them and control what you choose to focus on. You can control what you choose to focus on with your mind, and you can change the direction of your thoughts, which is amazing that Allah's given. If you just think about that for a minute, amazing that Allah's given us that ability. Nobody, no other species has that ability in the same way. Okay. So, how do you do it then? So, how do you actually change your thoughts and mindsets and upgrade your mental well-being? Okay, so a few tips here. So, first of all, fill your mind with the right stuff. So, avoid news. Obviously, we want to keep up to date to a degree with what's going on in the news, but you don't want to be over-consumed by it, like where all you're doing is watching news all day because it's just going to get you down. Like, it's just going to get you down and stop you taking action. We want to avoid harmful social media. Instead, we want to read books. We want to learn helpful things, inshallah. Reframing really helps. This idea of reframing, like you can choose to think, oh, winter's here, it's dark every day, it's cold, or you can think, oh, the benefits of winter, like I can be at home more, I can rest more, I can have more family time. I don't have to wait, I can pray my salahs earlier and go to sleep earlier. So it's all about how you think about things will impact how you feel about that very thing. Also, have another tip to improve your mental well-being is have your vision in mind, okay? Regularly revisit what you want to achieve in your life, okay? What is it? Your time on earth, my dear sisters, so limited. You have unique gifts and talents. What do you want to achieve in your life? You have unique opportunities. Regularly revisit your vision and keep your mind busy in taking action towards that vision. If you keep your mind busy in taking action towards that vision, it won't have time for all the garbage to enter your head, inshallah. Another thing that's really important to upgrade your mental health, though, having the right inspiring company, having mentors, having role models. Like I cannot emphasize this enough, right? Like it makes all the why it makes a difference is they say you are the average of the five people closest to you. So your mindset is so influenced by the people around you, and that's why you're the average of the five people closest to you. So if, for example, I don't know, if you hang out with rich people, guess what? You'll probably end up being rich. If you hang out with healthy people, without even you necessarily consciously trying, you will adopt the healthy habits because your mindset is just subconsciously upgraded through that inspiring company. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam recommended having good company. He emphasized it so much, having good company. Also, another idea is have a giving mindset. Like, think, how can I use my talents and resources to contribute to others? Because growth and contribution are the keys to fulfillment. Again, focus on how you can help others. Have that giving mindset rather than, not having that, inshallah. And it will keep you focused on the right things. Also, another big principle is be present in the moment. So you can only worship Allah in this moment. You can't worship Allah in the past. You can't worship in the future. You can only worship Him in this moment. Only this moment is real. So if you're ruminating on the past or worrying about the future, it's going to take you out of connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So instead, you want to be present in the moment, inshallah, and that will help you again stay more mindful and have a better mental health, inshallah. Another thought as well is stay in conversation with Allah all the time as your default inner dialogue. We all have this stream of thoughts running through our head. They say we have about 10,000 thoughts a day. And again, most of the time, many of us are living on autopilot. We're not conscious of it. The key is become conscious of it and tweak that into a dialogue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like that's how we connect to Allah is through our minds. So you just talk to Allah, like be in a state of dua all the time, inshallah. Talk to any time you're feeling a struggle. Just talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. Deep breathing exercises as well and mindful exercises can really help. Just doing the deep breathing as I described before, in for 3, out for 6. So again, this time I'm talking about deep breathing. I'm focused again, directing you to focus with your mind, with your thoughts on your breathing as you're breathing in and out, and that can again upgrade your mental health if you're having a wobble, if you're having a low moment, and it can bring your mind back to the present moment and away from those distracting thoughts, inshallah. Another big thing is avoid multitasking. This really protects your mental health as well. Instead, plan to do one thing at a time. And again, in the KLU program, I describe whole systems of how you can create this where you are not actually because when you're multitasking, you end up stressed, you end up overwhelmed. Instead, if you just design your life, set up your system, so you're just doing one thing at a time with full focus, you're a lot more productive, you can get much more done, and you don't feel so overwhelmed, inshallah. So that's another big one. Again, write a yes in the chat if you can relate to that, the idea of when you're just doing one thing at a time, you don't feel as stressed. When you're trying to juggle, like looking after your baby and cooking and doing this and or always thinking about your to-do list, you get overwhelmed and you don't feel good. Yeah. And the other final thought here is doing a regular, what I call like a brain dump. Like, so when you're feeling overwhelmed, untangle the thoughts. So sometimes when you've got just too many thoughts on different areas running through your mind, you feel that overwhelm. So when you feel that overwhelm, just write down everything on your mind, write down everything on your mind, and then figure out from that list which of these is something I actually can do something about. The things you can't do anything about, you just have to surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the things that you can do something about, then say, okay, well, what's my very next action step and when can I do it? And that's how to, if you know then when you're going to do it and you schedule it, you won't feel the overwhelm anymore. So you just have to do that at regular intervals if you are feeling that overwhelm, inshallah, and that mental overwhelm. So again, guys, a few thoughts there. I could talk in so much depth about each of them, but I want you to again think about what you are taking away from this. Write down at least two things that you're going to implement for your mental well-being from this list. Again, two things maybe that you hadn't thought about before, you're not already doing, and that you can take away from this, inshallah. And again, write in the chat. Avoid multitasking, keep talking to Allah. Yeah. Okay. Great. Excellent. Yeah. Do engage. Excellent. Being present when praying to Allah. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Really protect your thoughts, my dear sisters. All right. And then moving on to the final domain, the spiritual well-being, the connection and consciousness of Allah. Again, why is this area? Like, why is it important that we give attention to our spiritual well-being? Again, share with me in the chat. Why do we want to work on our spiritual well-being? Put trust in Allah. Yeah. Why else? To be able to live with clarity, ultimately why we're on earth. Exactly. Exactly. So, exactly. Because it's our purpose in life, like our purpose in life is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And this life is short and the real life is the hereafter. So we definitely don't want to neglect our spiritual well-being. It's the most important thing in our life. And also, guess what? If you look after your spiritual well-being, if you remember Allah regularly, you in that will you'll find your emotional well-being. You'll verily in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. So I like to think of it as something I call the sakina switch. So say you're feeling emotionally dysregulated, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling angry, you're feeling like, oh, life's so unfair. What you need to, or you're feeling like I can't cope, all these things, right? What you need to do is connect your thoughts back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that will bring your emotional state back to a state of peace, knowing that Allah is the best of planners. Allah will never give you more than you can bear. These are directly taken from ayahs. Allah it says in I think Surah Baqarah, He'll never give you more than you can bear. So if you remember that, it's that instant switch, what I call the sakina switch in your emotions, inshallah. So, tips here about how to upgrade your spiritual well-being. Read the Quran with translation daily. I would say every morning. Why in the morning and why with translation? Because again, what we want to do is we want to, like I said, our emotional state is coming from our mental, the thoughts in our head. So the first thoughts we want to fill in our head each day are the messages of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator. So read the Quran every morning with translation, even if it's just 5 ayahs a day. Just see, my dear sisters, how much this one habit alone transforms your life. And read it knowing that Allah is giving Allah knows what 5 ayahs you're going to be reading that day. And Allah has that message specifically for you for that day. If you read it with that mindset, it becomes a lot more fun. Like, what message does Allah have for me today? So if you do that in the morning, it really just sets your brain up the right way, inshallah. Listen to the Quran and Adhkar. Also, make a detailed morning dua asking Allah for help with your five biggest goals and your five biggest worries. If you do that again every morning, makes such a difference because then your brain knows, your mind knows that your thoughts are that Allah will help me. I've asked Allah for this, and it takes a lot of it takes a lot off your shoulders just to ask Allah first thing in the morning, specifically for the things that are running around in your head anyway, your goals and worries. Also, what really improves your spiritual well-being, as we all know, is that salah with concentration. And really, the thing is, like with your salah, like connect it. You know, a lot of us find that our mind is elsewhere in salah, but actually, purposefully connect your goals and your worries to the words of Surah Fatiha. So when you're saying إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, you alone we worship, you alone for us we ask for help. That's the time to actually think about your worries. And when you say, show us the straight, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, show us the straight path, the path of those whom you favored, maybe that's the time to think about your goals and what you want to achieve in this life. So again, read Salah and make it real for yourself, and read it with that focus and concentration, and it becomes a really good, a rejuvenating practice, inshallah. Um, Gratitude tennis with your family. This is another big one that can really help improve spiritual well-being. Sit with your family each day and ask all your family members, like, what are you grateful for today? Because anything that we're grateful for, any win in our life, any achievement, any good moment is a gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. So gratitude is that ultimate state that takes us back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. Tadabbur is another important principle, like reflect on what you're learning each day. And this is another good way when you focus on what you've learned each day. It can be another tool to connect back to Allah, because again, that learning is a gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. Again, have good company, have good role models, and this will really enhance your spiritual well-being. Be in gatherings of learning and praise, visit masajid, halaqas, be in good, righteous company, and also remember your intentions and always link them back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and everything you're doing. And this is the way to like be mindful. Don't just do things like people, we can be so busy doing, picking up our kids, doing this, like doing this work job. And if it's devoid of that, sometimes it's better to slow down and make it more, do less, do two things of your to-do list, but do it with slowly and with intention and ihsan, better than doing like five things and doing them rushed and stressed, in my opinion, because you'll get the better outcome in this world and in the next world from that same action, inshallah, and you won't be as stressed. So again, a whistle-stop tour of some of the spiritual things you can do to upgrade your well-being. And again, same thing, my dear sisters, write down 2 ideas you've taken away from this and what you're actually going to implement, inshallah. Write down 2 things. Can you write it in the chat, please? And also write it down, because as I mentioned, if you interact with what I'm asking, if you do, you are probably busy Muslim woman, you probably won't have time to do it outside of the session. So just do it now. Just scribble a few thoughts. What are you going to do? 2 things from this list at least that you're going to do, inshallah. And if you write it down, your brain will be programmed and you're more likely to do it. Read Quran translation, read Quran, gratitude, reading Quran in the morning, attending talks, dua of 5 goals. Yeah, excellent. Being grateful to Allah, connecting with the Quran, gratitude writing. Great. Excellent. Love it. Dua list. Excellent. Excellent, guys. Okay, brilliant. So what I wanted to talk about now, just briefly, is touch on seasonal affective disorder, just with this being a winter well-being talk. That just some people ask about this, like, the winter blues, seasonal affective disorder. So what this is a kind of a winter depression. It's where low mood that is more apparent and severe in winter. The theory is that lack of sunlight, shorter days affects the hypothalamus and affects production of melatonin needed for sleep, and serotonin, which affects mood and sleep and affects your circadian rhythm. And then you can end up with symptoms of depression, like persistent low mood, loss of pleasure, feelings of despair and worthlessness, etc., reduced energy, irritability, sleeping and eating too much or too little, difficulty concentrating. So these are some of the common symptoms of depression anyway. And we would as GPs define it as if it's persisting for more than 2 weeks continuously. That's when we start to maybe consider that it could be a form of depression. Now, so how do you avoid that if that's something you struggle with and you notice that you get lower in winter? Is simply like implement some of the strategies we've talked about here. Look after yourself. Know that this is a phenomenon. Look out for it in your family members as well. And, just suggest to them to make a bit of a winter well-being plan. And meet others. Like, try, I know it's winter, you want to stay in, but try and keep meeting others. And if it persists, go see your GP, who can inshallah help you out. But just I wanted you to be aware of this as well, inshallah. So hopefully, my dear sisters, with you doing those questions that I've been asking as we've been going along, you've been putting together a bit of a winter well-being action plan. So those, you should now have 8 points, okay? At least 8 points on your action plan. So I just want to give you a moment just to like have a look at those again. And I'm just going to do a bit of coaching with you here because if you look at those again, and if you want to just jot down a few more ideas, I just want to give you the space just now to do that. Because if you do that, if you just write something down, you're much more likely to actually do it, inshallah. So I'm going to give you a few, like about 30 seconds now, just to read through the list that you've made. And if you haven't made the list, then just jot down a few ideas. Write it down so you take away something from the session, inshallah. Because it's not just about nice ideas, it's about actually making changes in your life. That's what coaching's all about. Okay. Review your list, read your list. If you want to write some bits of it in the chat, you're welcome to as well. So what you're writing out is you should have 8 points now by doing two. Two for physical, two of the points from the physical well-being, two for emotional well-being, two for mental well-being, and two for spiritual well-being. You should have at least 8 points of things that you're going to actually take away and do from the session. So I want you to reread those, inshallah, have that plan in front of you, inshallah. Okay. And now what I want you guys to do is just take a minute. We're going to just visualize because again, I'm saying these points because if you just work through with me on this, you're more likely to do it. So just allow me to go through the process with you. Like I want you to imagine, okay, really, if you did these 8 points on your list, if drinking more water, for example, having more vegetables in your diet, fasting twice a week, if you just allow yourself to visit a friend every week, if you have more hugs with your spouse and your kids, like just make it a point to hug each of your family members at least once every day. If you're journal, like, writing down your thoughts when you get overwhelmed, if you're reading 5 ayahs of Quran every day, for example, with translation and doing that daily morning dua, if you did your plan, what impact is it going to have on your life? Like, if you did it every single day, what actual impact will it have on your life? I just want you to write a few thoughts down and maybe write in the chat actually. If you actually do this action plan, what impact is it going to have on your life? Write that down and maybe share some thoughts with me in the chat, please. Karma, yeah, huge, inshallah. Yeah, happy, healthy life enhances your life. Yeah. Can you see how, even if your circumstances, your external circumstances are outside of your control, if they don't change, like your spouse doesn't change, your job doesn't change, your house doesn't change, but if you change these things, can you see how your life will be healthier, happier, more fulfilling, more Jannah focused, inshallah? Can you see that? Just put a yes in the chat. Yeah. Good, good. Because this is the message, my dear sisters. Your circumstances do not have to change for you to upgrade your well-being or for you to have a joyful Jannah-focused life. You have to stop waiting. You have to stop waiting for your kids to grow up. You have to stop waiting for your job to be less busier or for you to move house or for your that next promotion or for the next thing. No, like don't say that I don't have enough time. Don't say I don't have enough money. These are all excuses. It's a waswas of shaitan in a way. It keeps us stuck. You can have those things right now just by making those small tweaks, okay? You just have to make that decision, though, my dear sisters, to prioritize your well-being for the sake of Allah. And when I did this, everything changed for me. Like yesterday, I was having a crazy day, so busy, doing lots of things. My probably biggest moment of joy in the day was having a cup of tea and having just a cuddle, with my daughter. And just, I'm so happy that I took literally 5 minutes to do that. And that made all the difference to my day. So these little things make such a difference. Okay. And you got to prioritize them. Simple as that. Okay. And you just need to tweak your actions and prioritize yourself, and you'll show up so much better, inshallah, for your all your roles and goals. Like, can you see that, guys? Can you see how if you just do these little things, you will also it'll impact your other areas of life. It'll impact those external things as well, your relationships, your career, your health, your physical health, your environment. Can you see that? Just put a yes in the chat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Great, my dear sisters. Excellent. Good, Alhamdulillah. So please do it. Remember, like I say, in a game is 80% of the work, and then your other things will fall into place as well, inshallah. But you're possibly now, I know you might be sat there wondering that, look, I know what I meant to do. Like I've yeah, you've got given the tips. I know what I want to do, what I need to do. I've got my list, and I know why I need to do it. I can see the benefits. But if you're feeling that, but when am I supposed to do all this? Like I'm so busy. How do I really apply and implement and integrate this into my life? Like how do I really create that consciousness of my thoughts and Allah? Like if you're thinking this, like I understand. Like you may have these thoughts now going through in your head. How do I fix the relationships and problems that are consuming my thoughts and my headspace? Like how it's easy, it's well and easy me saying like get rid of those thoughts in your head, like stop thinking about other people and how they harm you. But if it's a persistent thing, it's probably hard to clear that from your headspace. I understand. You're probably what you might be wondering, like how do I really create that regular Quran habit? Like I start off with things, but then I don't maintain consistency. So how do I really create that calm and peace in my home? How do I actually eat healthy and exercise? How do I exercise how can I fit in strength training in my busy schedule? Like I don't have time to join the gym. If you're feeling this way, like I get it. Like I get it. How do I stay consistent and stop procrastinating on making changes? Like I'm so busy and overwhelmed already. Like if you're feeling these things, I totally I can understand. So what I want to say is first step, you are here today. Thank you so much. And hopefully you've got a bit of a plan. But if you are wondering these things, I'm here to support you. And that's exactly why I have created the Khadijah Life Upgrade Program. So if you feel you want more support, like this is the program for you, inshallah. Just to tell you, if I may, a little bit about the program. It's a holistic 1 year personal development program for Muslim women in the modern world who basically wants a successful dunya and akhirah. And what it will help you do is actually establish and stay consistent with these mindset, skills, strategies, and habits of well-being that we've discussed today, and also those external habits for the external success across every area of your life, inshallah. So all those areas. And the key thing is you want to stay consistent with it without frustration, stress, and overwhelm. We want to get rid of that from our lives. So basically, inshallah, this program is geared towards internally helping you create more self-awareness, more peace, more presence and gratitude in your life, more taqwa and tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, more joy in your life, improved mood, energy, confidence and self-esteem. So we want to make those internal changes. But also we want to make those external changes so that that better health, that environment, those relationships being in a much better place, our children, inshallah, thriving and listening to us, our career, like thriving in our career, our finances, our contribution, our ibadah and deen, and the connection to Allah as well. So we want to work on the internal components and the external components. This program is about getting leverage on yourself. So you get the most out of your time and efforts on earth, inshallah. And it's also what it does is it aligns the best ideas from the personal development world and scientific research with the Quran and Sunnah. And honestly, like I don't like that's probably what makes this unique is that I'm bringing together the ideas of the best ideas even from the non-Muslim world, but I'm filtering it through the lens of the Quran and Sunnah and giving you it in a very bite-sized way, in a way that is easy to implement and then helping you to actually implement it. And it's named after Khadijah radiallahu anha because she is our role model, the woman of Jannah. She perfected her Iman. She was a great mum, wife, entrepreneur. She was calm and collected problem solver. So we want to really, inshallah, be like her. And that's why the program is named after her, inshallah. So exactly what is in again, just to tell you a bit more about the program, like how it works. So there's the content, coaching, and community, which will give you, inshallah, the alignment across all areas of life, the accountability. And also it's about taking accelerated action. It's about being people of action, not people of anxiety. So you're going to basically learn and implement the best mental models, skills, strategies, and systems to upgrade all these areas of life as easily and as fast as possible. And like I say, the important reason it's got to be all areas is because all areas relate to each other. This program is designed with busy Muslim women in mind, by a busy Muslim woman like me. I'm busy with different roles, but I've literally designed it with busy Muslim women in mind, and it's got basically the reason it'll save you time is because it's all done for you. The research has been done with for you, the tools have been put together for you, the guides have been done, the templates to take away all that hassle, overwhelm, and intimidation out of going for your goals and overcoming your challenges. And hopefully, the program will give you examples and inspiration, and you will learn and have the loving and personal support, encouragement, mentorship, and accountability from hopefully a somebody who's relatable. And I'm a professional coach, but I'm hopefully also, if you resonate with my journey, hopefully I'm relatable to you, and I'm going to help you actually implement your learning. I'll get to know you on a personal level and help you implement your learning. If you want somebody in your corner, inshallah, this program is for you. And you'll also find you're in a beautiful, supportive community of like-minded sisters, inshallah. And really, I've just created something that I wanted for myself, because I really feel like having support in this busy life is so, so important. And you deserve it. You deserve to have loving support, and you deserve, my dear sister, to go from surviving to thriving. And I want you to really experience the bliss that comes from a heart full of gratitude and contentment and tawakkul in Allah as fast as possible. And that's why I've just like mapped out this whole journey. It's like, especially in this time of information overwhelm, where like there's just so much information everywhere, giving you hopefully a streamlined thing, so you don't have to, it takes out the thinking, takes out the decision fatigue of like figuring out life, basically. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit, for those of you interested, like, what's waiting for you, inshallah, inside when you become a member of the KLU community, inshallah. And as I say, my website's here for you to go in and read about it more as well, but I'm just going to explain very briefly for you here. So basically, as I mentioned, there's the content in the private membership portal, and then the coaching component. So in terms of the content, what we work through, first of all, we've got the module one is called the Vision and Foundations Upgrade. So in this module, we'll do that. We'll figure out what you actually want in life, rather than you just being on the hamster wheel of life and fulfilling the expectations of others. You're going to learn how to set realistic goals without being overly attached to them, and not feeling guilty if they aren't achieved. Like, this is really key. Like, you don't need to feel guilty. You're going to create that dream dua list. You're going to learn the science of habit formation, so you can create those new intentional habits easily, and it'll allow you, inshallah, then to do more good deeds with less time, less thinking, less energy, because that's the key, like forming the habits. And also in this module, you'll design your ideal life and week. And there's, much, much more to it, but that's a brief overview of this first module, inshallah. Then module two is the big one. That's called the emotions, thoughts, and self-awareness upgrade. So in this module, now that you've got a brief idea of the big picture where you're headed, you're going to learn how your emotions work and how to master them. So inshallah, you're in that state of joy, excitement, gratitude, peace, and tawakkul in Allah most of the time, no matter how anxious or low you may be feeling at the moment. You're going to discover what makes you unique, because all of us are unique. All of us have been given gifts by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're going to gain a newfound appreciation for your life so far and how it's shaped you to be who you are. No matter how hard you currently feel your life has been in the past, you're going to get a new insight on your life. You're going to gain practical tools to be mindful of Allah in all moments, and how to be more joyfully present in the current moment. You're going to learn how to stop being reactive and snappy, and have the tools to regulate your emotions. You're going to drop the people pleasing, the worrying about what others think of you, and the overthinking. You're going to overcome your self-esteem issues, and inshallah find a newfound confidence through a strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's key. You're going to, inshallah, become a more loving person, excited, joyful person, no matter how difficult you think your current relationships are, how unfun and uptight you might think you are currently, and how stressed you currently are. So we want it so that people want to be around you, inshallah. You're going to become just easygoing. You're going to learn how to enjoy life, become more easygoing and resilient, regardless of your circumstances. And you're going to learn, inshallah, how to genuinely make all your intentions for the sake of Allah, so you earn Jannah points for the Akhirah as you thrive in all areas of the dunya too, inshallah. So that's module two. Then once we've mastered our internal, like our emotional state, we move on to the time and productivity upgrade. So in this module, you'll learn the mindset strategies and systems and the tools to leverage your time so that you get more done in less time with less stress and procrastination and burnout. And you're going to really put this in place, the systems that make your day like just flow more productively and effortlessly, inshallah. You're going to drop the overwhelm and procrastination regarding your to-do list. You're going to create systems, and this is key, systems. So chores happen on autopilot without stress and overwhelm, and your home is organized and hopefully self-tidying. You'll learn how to be more focused and do more high quality work in less time. You'll learn how to plan without guilt there if those plans don't happen. So you'll plan, but you'll leave it to Allah, inshallah, and we get the best of both worlds, and inshallah. So you're really going to upgrade your time and productivity, inshallah, and much more in that module as well. Then, once our mind is in a good place and our emotions, we've got control of our time, we move on to the health and energy upgrade. The next area is to upgrade our energy. So, how do we do that? You're going to learn how to boost your energy by reducing your stress levels, optimizing your sleep, diet, and exercise. You're going to learn the principles of nutrition so you actually understand your body and its needs better and you can avoid going on medication. You're going to learn the mindsets, habits, and strategies that will enable you to lose weight fast without crazy, restrictive, difficult, expensive diets and stay motivated while enjoying your food more. Because again, for many of us busy Muslim women, like being overweight is a common issue. So I want to give you those tools as well. You're going to learn the fastest and easiest way to build muscle, build your strength, get toned with the least money and time investment, inshallah, without expensive gym memberships and while juggling work and family, inshallah. You're also going to learn how to leverage your natural cycles as a woman, including your menstrual cycle for maximal productivity. So you can have more of a compassion and appreciation of your body, and you no longer guilt and put pressure on yourself to be productive, when in reality, you do need more rest. And you'll have that more compassion when you understand your body more. And again, much more in that module as well, inshallah. So then the next module is called the Salah and Quran upgrade. The idea is now we're in a good place mentally and emotionally, and we've got control of our time and our energy levels are up. Let's put that first and foremost back into our Salah and Quran, the first thing that we're going to be asked about on the Day of Judgment, right? So you're going to learn through this module how to see Salah as your rejuvenation so you enjoy your Salah. You're going to learn how to be more mindful of Allah outside and inside of your Salah. You're going to learn how to make your Salah alive and in alignment with your everyday goals and challenges, and how to have more khushu in your salah. You're going to create a regular and consistent Quran habit. You're going to learn the mindsets and strategies that will make you enjoy your Quran studies more. And you're also going to learn how to learn Quranic Arabic so you understand the Quran and your Salah in the least time possible without expensive courses. And again, I provide the resources for that. So again, it's about really upgrading our connection with the Quran. And again, many more strategies around Quran and Salah covered in that module. Now, then the next module is called the relationships and parenting upgrade. So now that we're in a good place, we want to move on to our relationships. So in this module, you'll learn how to set boundaries and create what I call win-win relationships of collaboration and synergy, not compromise and sacrifice. You learn how to not be so bothered by difficult relations and not be overly preoccupied by what others think of you, yet loved and cherished by all. You're going to learn the mindsets, communication skills, and strategies to create a compassionate, passionate marriage, no matter how unhappy and disconnected you are from your spouse currently in your marriage. You're also going to learn if you're single, because this program is both for married and single people. I'll probably have even split there in within the program. So if you're unmarried, you're going to learn how to find a compatible Muslim marriage match, inshallah, without the frustration if you're currently single, and then learning all the marriage strategies as well will definitely set you instead a good place for when you do get married. And you're also going to learn the mindset, systems, habits, skills, and best parenting strategies to raise, inshallah, righteous, confident children who listen, who love to learn from you, who are deeply connected to you, and who bring you joy without frustration and yelling, inshallah. And again, much more covered in that module. And then module 7, the final module is called the career legacy and wealth upgrade. So in this, now that you're in a good place, your relationships are in a good place, it builds on each other. Now we can really think about what legacy we want to leave, inshallah. So in this module, you'll learn how to become super valuable, productive and a high performer in the workplace, loved by all, inshallah. You're going to learn negotiation, leadership, and communication skills so you move ahead and confidently in the workplace. You're going to figure out your unique talents and passions and how you can use them to contribute more in the workplace and contribute to the community more, either through voluntary work or through setting up a business, inshallah, so that you can build a legacy and a sadaqah jariyah and make a difference in a way that brings fulfillment to you, inshallah. You're going to learn how to move forward with your own ambitions and dreams without compromising your family life or neglecting other responsibilities. You're going to learn the mindsets and habits that will enable you to have money and wealth in your hands, but not your heart. So your wealth grows and you have less financial stress, inshallah. You're going to learn how to save more money without compromising your quality of life and experiences. You're going to learn the principles, mindset, strategies, and tools of investing as well in different asset classes such as stocks and property so that your money makes more money for you. This is key. You want to build a money machine and you get passive income and your wealth grows. And much more, inshallah. And really, through this module, you'll recuperate your investment in KLU program with if you just like literally follow two or three of the many principles I'll teach you in this module. So that's just an outline of what's in the membership portal. And like I say, it's one comprehensive program that covers everything relevant to a professional Muslim woman. But if you're thinking, whoa, that's a lot of content, I don't have time. Let me just say, it's all, I know you're busy. It's in a private membership portal for you to go through at a time and pace that suits you. And I'll teach you how to go through the content in what I call no extra time. So while you're doing your chores or while you're in the car, it's designed so that you can just listen to it on the go. Done is better than perfect. It's a very comprehensive, step by step and bite size so that you don't get overwhelmed, you don't get decision fatigue on what to learn. You just need to, if you can press play, you can do it. And done is better than perfect, inshallah. And then you also have the actual support to implement your learning. So you've also got coaching sessions. We do at least three 90-minute live teaching and coaching sessions, which are interactive. And you get in that you get the opportunity to be directly coached by me, by a relatable coach in a safe space, inshallah. They're typically at 8:30 p.m. UK time on a Sunday at the moment. I do put on bonus daytime sessions if I get a chance as well, though I want to serve as much as possible. And as I say, you can bring up any issue and get coached on it directly. And the other component of the program is that you're part of a community of like-minded sisters, and this is awesome because you get to know and interact with similarly minded sisters, and we learn from each other, we're inspired by each other. And if one week, for example, you don't have an issue particularly to bring up in the coaching session, you'll learn from a sister who brings up her issue. There's something to learn from everybody, inshallah. And there's also one-on-one support with me via WhatsApp available as a bonus at the moment as well, which I'll talk about in a moment. But the key here as well, I want to say, is that prevention is better than cure. So you might be thinking, okay, how much time, how much money is this going to cost me? And what I will say to you, my dear sister, is how much more time-consuming, expensive, emotionally draining the following: having a personal trainer, having marriage counseling or a divorce lawyer, having health issues, having challenging children, missing out on promotions, or doing lots of different courses and coaching programs, right? Like you can go to different places. And also, what's the mental, physical, spiritual, financial cost of staying stuck and not progressing in life? Because the thing is, this program will help you accelerate your journey. And time is like money we will get back, but time is the one thing we don't get back. Allah says in Surah Asr, by time, verily mankind is in loss. We're always losing time. So it's your choice, like whether you upgrade your life now, before your problems get worse, or more expensive to sort out, or more irreversible to sort out through the or you sort it out in one comprehensive way, inshallah. The other thing to say as well, like, if you're a professional, you'll get CPD certificates for your professional portfolio. Some sisters, as I say, use it for their appraisals and things. And what I'll say is money comes back to you, time does not. So I started this work actually when a friend of somebody I knew passed away, and I was really shocked in her 30s, and I realized that I was 7 months pregnant when I started this program, and I realized that, look, I don't know when I'm going to die. I don't know when I'm going to die, so I just need to go for it and do something if I feel it's worthwhile. And likewise, when I enrolled in my first coaching program, I get it. I had the like, will it work, whatever investment, but like I've never looked back since that moment. It's really changed every area of my life. Alhamdulillah, like I'm able to do this work despite juggling other things. And I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm saying it to impress upon you that if I can do it, if other sisters can do it and benefit, then you can do it too, inshallah. So you're probably wondering like how much is the investment? As I say, I've really put a lot of time, effort, invested myself into learning all these things, probably spent thousands of pounds on this. I could probably sell each module as a standalone course because it's quite comprehensive. And, if you hired individual coaches for each area, that would cost you thousands of pounds because the industry standard for, say, a marriage coaching course or a weight loss coaching course or a financial course is 2,000 to 5,000 pounds. Like, look that up, look up other programs. And it's not going. This is not going to cost you anywhere close to that. Also, you could read books, you could attend multiple courses, and that ends up costing you if hundreds, if not £1,000 too, and takes up much more time. So, and even if you just for one area, like for example, if you just hired a financial planner, or joined a gym membership, that could cost you hundreds. So, and my one-on-one coaching could cost you a lot too. But this program, I've really tried to make it as much affordable as I possibly can. This is my passion project for you, inshallah. So, how much is it and how to enroll? And let me just say, as I say, my mentor thinks I should charge 10 grand for this, but I'm not going to charge you that. It's not 10,000, it's not investment, it's not even 2,000. The exact investment though, you have to book a call with me to find out, inshallah. And why I'm going to tell you on the call rather than right now is because first of all, I want to find out if you're a suitable candidate for the program, inshallah. Like because the thing is I've realized people invariably have questions about payment plans, etc. And look, this is a passion project for me. I hope you're seeing that it's my passion. My aim is to really make this as affordable and accessible to as many people as possible. So basically, if you're a right fit for the program and we click and I see you're committed and you can't afford the investment, there are bursaries available anyway. So the actual investment is in a way irrelevant. If your bottom line is if you are interested, book a call with me, inshallah. Don't overthink it. If you think this program sounds interesting, something you want to look into, book a call with me. We'll get to know each other one on one and you'll get all the answers to your questions, inshallah. And I just want to say as well, like you could invest 20 grand in a car, 500,000 pounds in a house, thousands on a wedding, thousands on a holiday, but thousands to become employable, but this investment will improve the experience of it all, inshallah. And that's what I found in life, that you can have it all, but if your mind is not in the right place, if you don't have these tools and strategies, you still end up rushed and not enjoying life, right? If your well-being suffers, then it's like none of the other stuff is actually making you happier. So, if you're interested in what I've shared with you, and thank you for staying on to listen to about the program. If you're interested, all you need to do right now, the next step for you is simply to book a complimentary life upgrade consultation with me. This is the link bit.ly/KLU apply, or you can access it via my website, via my KLU information page. What we're going to do in that call is I'm going to ask you about get clarity of the changes you want to make, what you want to achieve personally, professionally, Islamically. We're going to uncover the hidden challenges keeping you stuck, and then we'll make an action plan, and inshallah we'll see if the program is right for you. But even if you don't join the program, my intention is to still provide you value and give you some insights on that call, inshallah. So if you're interested, all you need to do is fill in that application form, book a time to speak with me, and look forward to connecting with you. I hope it'll be even if you don't join, it'll be a useful thing to have a complimentary call with me, inshallah, and we can get specific on your goals and challenges, inshallah. Um, Okay. And yeah, even if you join the program, and you get a guarantee anyway. So a guarantee is built in. Even if you do join, you have that 1 month love it or leave it guarantee. When you join, I want anybody who joins to feel it's like the best place for them, and they really feel like, where has this been my whole life? I want you to really get that feeling. So when you join, it'll be with inshallah complete peace of mind because that guarantee is also there. Because I get it. Like, it's like you might be thinking, how has Hafsa done this? It sounds, some people say this to me, your thing sounded too good to be true, and I was really skeptical. So what I will say is just join it and see if, try it out and see if it's for you, inshallah, if this is something you want to do in your life. So there's also, yeah, as I say, other bonuses. So that was my, my core program, and then I've added so much more to it. The program is evolving with feedback from my sisters, always trying to add more value. So we also do monthly small group accountability sessions for you to actually get proactive coaching and proactively set monthly realistic goals. So you have that accountability built in as well. You have the opportunity for weekly WhatsApp check-ins with me. We have special accountability WhatsApp groups for like weight loss, and if you have your own business. You have a direct private access to me as well for one-on-one WhatsApp coaching. So if something you don't want to bring up in front of the group, you get that access to me directly as well. So I've really tried to make it as much support as possible, inshallah. And then I've created like checklists, like the set and forget flexible belly fat and weight loss method. I've created like video guides for this exercise, so you don't have to join the gym. I've made workbooks like the Ultimate Awesome Marriage Workbook and the Science-Backed Do's and Don'ts of Parenting Guide. So what I'm trying to say is I'm always adding to the program, trying to make it as accessible for you as possible, inshallah, and as easy to implement. And yeah, these are some of the things that some of my KLU sisters have said, that it's several courses in one plus more. It's everything. It's the only life coaching program, inshallah, you'll ever need. And actually, my mentors said, don't do this. They said, just focus on health. Hafsa, you're a GP, just focus on health. But I was like, no, I want to build something comprehensive, because as a professional Muslim woman, I don't want to just succeed in one area of my life, just my career or just my relationships. I want to connect to all. I want to succeed in all areas of life, inshallah. So, I don't want them to be at a detriment to each other. So it's not about just simply finding the balance, but finding that alignment between the different areas of life, inshallah. So these are some of the things the sisters have said about the program. Having the materials in one platform makes things simpler, and having the opportunity to actually ask questions. The live sessions help me to problem solve better in my life. It's a wholesome and holistic approach, covers everything you need to know in life. Being a busy professional Muslim woman, wife, and mum, I won't have time to research and enroll into each of these courses individually. But although I did struggle with all of these aspects, so it's just saying that, she said how it helped in all these areas. And most of us want to excel in all areas of our life, not just one. So this is why it covers all areas, inshallah. So just a summary again. Of the program. It's a 1 year, minimum 1 year personal development program. And why 1 year? So that you actually have time to make these changes. And I actually have time to get to know you. You have time to get to know me. And yeah, it's really about making that. Just give me 1 year of your life, and you'll see, inshallah, big changes. Invest that 1 year of your life, inshallah. But as I say, it's designed with busy Muslim women in mind. So I'm not saying you have to put everything on pause at all for that year or anything like that. Yeah, it's helping you stay, but also, although it's 1 year, you do have that 1 month love it or leave it guarantee when you join, inshallah. As I say, it'll help you stay consistent with all these areas. And just again, there's a summary of everything that we have in the program: the content, the coaching, the support, the community, the bonuses, inshallah. So, find out more by applying for a call with me. And one final bonus, okay, that I've never offered before, but I thought I'm webinar only bonus, right? If you apply for this call today, like off the back of this webinar, inshallah, by midnight tonight. So I'm not asking you to enroll in the program. I'm just asking you to, if you're interested, to book the call with me. If you book the call and you subsequently end up joining the program, you're also going to get free one-on-one coaching sessions with me to take at any point over the year, which I've never offered this before. But just to incentivize you, if you're thinking of booking that call, just to go for it and apply for it while the explanation of the program is fresh in your mind, which, this is I don't know. I think my yeah, it's a bit no, like yeah, this I've never offered this before. Like as I say, for the value of this is at least £500 just for the having three one-on-one coaching sessions with me, right? But you're gonna get that for free when you enroll in the program. So again, then it gives you the opportunity to bring up anything having that in your toolbox, or anything you want to bring up with me one on one, you'll have the opportunity to do that. But that's only if you book the call with me by off the back of this webinar. It's a webinar, fast action webinar only bonus, inshallah. Um, so book a call with me if what I've said sounds like something you're interested in, inshallah, bottom line. But yeah, so hope that's been helpful. And does anybody have any questions, inshallah? So, assalamu alaikum for all of those watching the recording as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that I've been with Dr. Hafsa for it's my second year, and honestly, I highly recommend it to anyone. She's just got a lovely nature about her, very loving and caring, and like actually quite motherly as well in a strange way, even though she's younger than me. But I think because she's got so many kids, mashallah, Allahumma barik, you do feel quite safe in her hands, and she's got a wealth of knowledge and experience, and even from business to, I run two businesses, and very motivational. You don't feel alone. You're on the journey with a group of people. I've met so many people. I actually rebound with one of the sisters on a weekly basis, so I keep up with my just keeping fit and whatever not. And yeah, I can't actually explain. It's just as what she's saying is actually true. It's not a dream. It actually goes into like avenue to avenue to avenue. And then even now I'm like thinking, oh, I haven't done this part yet. I haven't done that part yet. And I'm already in year two. So yeah, I think I need to pull my socks up and get on with the KLU program. And I think, well, actually, the name Khadijah, I've always loved Khadijah's story, subhanallah. I've always been connected to it. And the fact that she named it that, I was like, it really drew me to um, the program even more. So, Jazakallah khair for naming it the name that you called it, because it really did call me in.
Alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah.
she's like an ultimate role model for us, right?
Yeah,
Every Muslim woman
100%.
wanting to excel in all areas. So nothing can visualize what we're aiming for better than that image, I think, of
Yeah, she
that
was the
role model.
starting point
So
of Islam and,
yeah, yeah.
signified so much.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Salma,
Barakatiki.
for that. And honestly, it's the sisters in the program that keep me going. Honestly, like it's such a beautiful community, and that's it. We all need that support. We need that motivation from each other, inspiration from each other. So it's like it's just such a beautiful space. Alhamdulillah, all goodness is from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions at all? The other thing I'll say is when you join the program, like all the content is available to you to go through. Like although there's a sequence to it, you like as I've explained, hopefully you'll see how each module builds on the previous, but it is all available for you so you can jump between different areas if a certain thing is a particular need for you or something that is resonating more with you, or you might ask me a question and I might say, oh, go away and you might learn more about this. These are a few thoughts, and go away and learn more about it in this content. You'll learn more about this topic, inshallah.